My name is David Mkwasa. I'm the chairperson of Matthew 25 Ministries International. Matthew 25 Ministries International started way back in 1995. Well, basically, that's when the vision was realized by we call Mother Inonge Nawa.
So on the 25th of January 1995, I was teaching at Namununga private school. I was teaching the grade 2s. So I wrote on the board, today is Monday, 25th Matthew 1995. And the presence of the Lord hit the class. The children were quiet. So I stopped writing. I wanted to find out why the children were quiet. And then they said, teacher, look the way you have written the date. I checked. I read today's Monday, 25th Matthew, 1995. So I rubbed Matthew and January. And out of that day, it was like somebody was telling me, Matthew 25, Matthew 25. So when I got home, I got my Bible. I read the book of Matthew 25. But when I read from verse 31 to 46, which says, I was hungry, you never gave me something to eat. I was naked, you never clothed me. I was in prison, you never came to visit me. I was thirsty, you never gave me something to drink. You know, I felt empty. I started crying.
So when did we not do all these things? When you did not do this to the least of my brothers, you did not do it to me. So go away and they will be thrown into eternal damnation. So she got so concerned and started crying and weeping. And so one day she's in town.
26th, when I knocked off, I wanted to post the letters at the post office. I saw a young man who was mentally sick. I was in Carroll Road. So he stopped me and said, Madam, can I have some money? I told him I don't have money. When I had money, got all right. And then when I posted the letters, went to Freedom Way, where my young sister was working in one of the Indian shops. I went, I talked to my sister, and when I was coming out of that shop, I met the same man whom I met in Carroll Road. Madam, can I have some money? I told him, I don't have money. And then I went to the bus stop in a queue, and this same young man came, leaving everybody, and came to me and said, Madam, can I have some money? I told this young man, I said, I don't have money. This man disappeared. I tried to look for him. He was nowhere to be seen. So I went home, crying. I said, Lord, I miss you.
So that's how she came back and praying, and God told her that from now on, you will no longer work for man, you work for me. So that's how she stopped work at Lumono and went into full-time ministry. And she's been in ministry since then. Yeah, that's the background of Matthew 25. Well, the commanded, her vision is to look after the needy. Of course, preach the gospel and being practical in preaching the gospel. Usually we preach the gospel the way people get saved that you are gone, but we leave the practical part of it, which is, in this case, feeding those who are hungry, dressing those who are naked, who don't have clothes, visiting the prisoners and the sick people. So that's what we do as a ministry. We reach out to meet the needs of people wherever we are, wherever we see the need. Her core really, which is on her heart that God spoke to her, is about persons' mental disabilities.
Then on the third day, it was the Wednesday, 27th January 1995, My cousin gave me a lift. I was going for work. So on the road the car stopped. And then I saw a young man almost naked. And the Lord spoke to me. He was mentally sick. The Lord spoke to me that this is how you have neglected me. Even some of my children have neglected me. I said, Lord, but he's mad. And then the Lord said, he's not mad. Mental illness is a disease like any other disease. The way I want people to look after me when I'm sick, that's the way the Lord wants us to look after people who are mentally sick. And the Lord spoke to me to say, from today, you are not going to work for man, but for me. I said, Lord, I'll be doing what? Looking after people who are mentally sick.
So she would go in the streets with her bag, where she put clothes with the scissors, and she would buy bread and drinks. So she'd be walking around the streets. She finds this person with a mental illness. Somehow she's got the grace. This person, she'll say, hey, come, and this person will sit. She'll cut the hair and dress him up and give him food. Sometimes if she has no food, she'll take the person after cutting, dress him up, cutting his hair, dressing up, take them to a restaurant, just buy them food and eat. So that's what's is a drive on her heart, and then these others come in. The ministry is a ministry to the persons with disabilities, and persons with disabilities are talking about all kinds of disabilities, the blind, the persons with physical disabilities, and also the Albinos, ministry to the widows, the lepers, the orphans, this is where, and many others who are in need. This is the mandate we have. Well, from 1995, we started doing work. That's when I met her, and I started working with her. In 2010, 26th August, that's when we registered the organization with the Register of Societies. And since then, we have not looked back. Yeah. What's interesting about all this is why, personally, the ministry has been, I think, helped me to also find my own call from God, of things that I love doing. And I think that's why I work in there, because I love working with people. Interesting that when Inonge Nawa left work, started working and going around cutting hair of persons with mental illness, people started thinking or saying, I think she has also gone crazy. She's gone mad. Apart from that, because she no longer had an income, she could not pay renters for the house. So she was kicked out of the house. She came to sleep at my house.
I was homeless. I slept on David's veranda for 10 days. I said, Lord, I don't understand. And I asked the Lord, I said, why, Lord? Then the Lord said, I want you to know how the homeless feel. I want you to know how the mentally sick people feel, So I prayed, I said, Lord, you've told me to look after orphans, to look after people our age, the widows, people with different disabilities, to go to prisons, the blind people, albinos, homeless, street girls, single mothers, the dumb and the deaf, and with no home.
Key relationships we have established as a ministry. We have affiliated now with the Evangelical Fellowship of Zambia. Praise Christian Center International, where Bishop Ed Gangambi is presiding bishop. We have a relationship with government through the Ministry of Community Development and Social Welfare. The other churches and other, what they now call them, child facilities, orphanages in terms of networking. Even the police, actually, especially Chilenje Police, since 25 is based in Chilenje. We work well with the police there. And then individuals as well who come in, the well-wishers who just pass through the place. Yeah. Yes. So the ministry started running, and then there was a family. These are young people. They lost both their parents, so they were orphans, and the head of what Mother Inonge was doing, and they called her, and she went to meet with them. Interestingly, Mother Inonge told God, that she would like to have a house.
Then I said, okay, if you indeed you've called me, I want a temporary house in Chilenje, 2 or 3 bedroom house. It must have a wall fence, it must have a slab, it must have a lemon tree because I love tea with lemon. And a few days later, a certain family came. There are 5 girls, they're orphans, and then they came and said, Auntie, the Lord has spoken to us to give you our house so that you can be looking after our sisters and the brothers. When I came here, the first thing I saw was the wall fence, and I saw a lemon tree. I started worshiping the Lord. I said, indeed, this is God. Amen.
That was the beginning of starting an orphanage, or a home, as I said. That changed everything about the ministry, because then we went into actually getting children, opening up doors for those children. I started looking after them, and she personally was staying with the children, and she stays with the children as a mother, looking after them. If there's no food, they all starve with the mother, that I think that was the turning point of the ministry. And since then, things started falling in place in terms of carrying out our mandate. Wow, yes. You lock up the children, they can no longer, free go out and receive people and all that, Mostly the biggest difficulties is that the support also has gone down, because I think the COVID-19 has affected even the incomes of people. So we've seen that has affected our budgets at the home, and generally running of the ministry. Because you see, we need to be, our ministry, our work is always on the road. It's in the field work, and people are always in need. And so we don't have enough resources as we used to. So that has really affected us. But we thank God none of our children has contracted any the virus, the coronavirus. So we thank God He has kept us safe. He has kept the children safe. Not very well, but they're children, they're busy playing, they can enjoy the TV, and all that. But I think the biggest problem we have is we don't have enough space. The house is small, the surroundings are very small, we can't have swings and all that. So the children are usually playing within the house. So we have a TV room where they usually spend the time. They play, they watch TV and all that, which is not very healthy for children. They need to be out there, Yeah, but I think they are being restricted. It's okay. They enjoy themselves when they are going to school, because at school they've got friends, they play around and all that. They've got stories to tell when they come back. Yeah, but I think that is very restrictive, and they are not themselves. You tell, my child is not there, where she is supposed to be. Yeah, it has affected them negatively. Yeah. Well, yeah, like I think a few weeks ago, someone came just to talk to them, so that they may know about the COVID-19 and why they may feel being restricted. They no longer have people coming in, friends, because some of them school friends would come. The schools will organize, they bring their friends, and have fun with them. People who used to come and have fun with them can no longer come. So we do have some people coming in just to talk to them, encourage them. Basically, that's what to do, so that they understand why they're having this, going through this situation. I feel like walking, I feel like yeah, most rewarding part of this ministry is when I look at the child who came when she was 1 month old, and now she's married, has her own child, to a very good husband. They moved, they're staying in Kabwe. When I look at the child who came, I think he was about 8 years old. He's finished his law degree from the street. He was just a street kid. He has finished his law degree. He's going to Siale. When I see a boy who came at 5 years old, the mother has a mental illness. They used to sleep under the tree, and he's finished school. He's done a course in building and construction. He's finished, and he does pieceworks. He makes his own money. He's married, has a child. He move out. When I see the young man who came in very young, finished school, he's done theology as a pastor. We have one who's doing teaching. She came in, I think she was about 10. She's a grade 12. She's doing teaching at Fairview College. One girl, she came in when she was, I think, 5 or 7, somewhere there. She was not very good in school, I should say. But we had to take her to school to go and learn a skill, because she felt that school is not for me. But she did a skill. She's finished her course in hospitality industry, hotel management and whatever certificate from City of Hope. She's now on attachment at a certain lodge. Very excited, very happy, and all that. It gives you that fulfillment. It gives you like, okay, what next? Give me some more. We've seen some blind persons. We have a church in the Ministries compound, Matthew 25 Ministries International Church. We call it Love Sanctuary. We have a church where we have 2 pastors who are blind. We have an elder who's an ex-prisoner, and then we have the aged, the majority, a good number in church. It's an assorted kind of people we have in this church. That's the fulfillment I get. I see as a ministry, it gives us the joy. It gives us the motivation, the inspiration to do much more. Just that a good relationship we have with the government through the Community Development Social Welfare Department. I mean, these guys are being good to us. We work with them. We support each other. You know, people don't realize even government has needs. Sometimes they will say, Auntie Inonge, we need transport. If we don't have transport, we have to release our bus to take a child maybe to Mazabuka, you know, to our parents, to look for the parents, you know. If we have resources, we have to help them. No, we have a need here, someone needs midi meal, we'll get a bag of midi meal, give them. They give people who come to the offices. So it's just the fulfillment we see. We yearn to do much more, you know, as the Lord enables us. The biggest lesson is being obedient to God. When God tells you do this, just do it. Don't ask, okay, Lord, okay, first the money, where am I going to get the money to do this? First, I should finish this. First, you just step out and do it. Once you start doing what God has called you to do, then you start seeing the provisions. Remember, he says, seek ye the kingdom of God and his righteousness first, and all things shall be added unto you. And that's a big lesson that really, personally, I've learned as a ministry. We have learned not to sit and wait until we have money. We just go out there. The little that one has, you can chip in and just go and do the work. And the lesson is that people are waiting for somebody out there, and you must be the one they are waiting for, so that you may pull them and lift them out of their doldrums. They become somebody. Yes, we have been blessed with land in Shantumbu area, and on that land there is a boho and a two-bedroom unfinished house. So now we're looking for people or partners who could come in and help us build and extend the house, so that we can start looking after the aged in that place. And also persons with mental illness. You know, most of them recover as long as they are taking their medicines. They are all right. They can do whatever. I'm saying her experience was we are already looking after somebody. She's all right as long as she's taking her medicines. So but stigmatization in the community, they are not accepted. So most of them are back on the streets. So we are thinking, okay, we can have a home also for them. Those who want to, they stay there. They can go and do their work, and they come back home, and you know. So that's what we're really looking at in Shantumbu area. We have a piece of land in Chief Bunda Bunda in Chongwe, Kapete village. I think the land is Koto. There we have a big number of children in need. Orphans and the widows, the aged. We have put up a big dining hall. It has reached a roof level. We've run out of money. We have a borehole there as well, though it doesn't work very well. So we hope to have partners who may come in and support putting up a big orphanage there, and also for ex-prisoners, those, because them also are stigmatized. Others are not accepted in their homes, you know, so they've nowhere to go. So we thought we can set up homes for them that side, and also a school. We're thinking of putting up a school that side, and maybe a church as well. So to cater for that area. That's what we're looking at for the future. Immediate future is the Shantumbu place, because it has become a big need. We're having a lot of the aged, you know, they've nowhere to go. You know, a lot of mental persons, mental disabilities, illnesses, not have anywhere to go. So that has become an urgent issue for us. As a ministry, we just hope some people can learn lessons from us, be able to do what they are doing either locally or across the borders, so that we be practical. Our prayer is that people can become, can fall in love with people and care for the people, and be a brother's keeper, a true brother's keeper. When somebody is in need, be there for them. And that's our dream as a ministry. We've changed Zambia when we start loving one another and caring for one another. Let us be sheep. The animal called sheep is a very gentle animal. That animal the shepherd is not behind, it's always ahead. So it just follows where the shepherd is going. For a goat, it eats anything. So don't have the characteristics of a goat. You need to be like a sheep. A sheep will always follow Christ. Our prayer is that people can be like Christ. And I pray that Zambia can truly be the beacon we talk about, the light to the world, in every area. But how do we do that? When we take care of the needy in our society, in our nation. When the government puts people as a priority and come through, increase funding to the social welfare department, so that the social welfare department can provide answers to the needy in our society, so that these people can also become partners contributing to national development. That's our dream. Thank you.